So, a couple weeks ago, we had another resurgence of old conspiracy theories of people being replaced, of clones, this and that, that got spurred by Jim Carrey appearing different. People thought, oh, he's been replaced, he is a stand in, he was cloned. Other people talked about Kelly Osbourne looking so different. Now, I'm not going to specifically address the cloning part. If you're a believer in that, you need to do some research into the biological reality of cloning science, because you're in the realm of science fiction cloning in the claims here. In pretty much all of these cases, what you're looking at are combinations of aging, possibly cosmetic work, weight loss, makeup, right? In the case of Jim Carrey, what would be most likely? That he's 64 years old and sometime in recent years he had a facelift. That's probably the most likely outcome there. But what I get a lot is what causes people to jump on board with this? Where do they get this stuff in the beginning? Most categories of conspiracy theory have roots in things that were covered up, were kept secret, but got revealed later on. So there's the foundation. They lied about this, covered this up. Therefore, there could be other things that they're covering up. Now, are there cover-ups going on right now? Probably. Well, there pretty much has to be. But that doesn't mean everything is a conspiracy, that everything is a cover-up. We still go with what is the most likely outcome in any given scenario. Now, also when it comes to celebrities, there is a history of this. Some celebrities do use lookalikes or body doubles in certain cases. In literature, it's not common, but not uncommon, that when an author passes away, especially a popular one, the family may hire a ghostwriter to continue writing under that person's name. For example, in the 1980s, V.C. Andrews, the author of Flowers in the Attic and that series, she passed away in 1986, not that long into her writing career, and her estate hired another writer to continue writing under her name. Now, because that was an age before mass media and social media, I shouldn't say before mass media, before 24/7 mass media and social media, a lot of fans didn't hear that she had passed away and they thought she was continuing to write, right? So that stuff can slide in there. Politicians will use lookalikes or body doubles for public appearances where they don't have to speak or aren't being really seen close up. Probably most famously, Saddam Hussein, former leader of Iraq, was well known to have had a lookalike who made appearances for him, which led to its own conspiracy theory that he wasn't the one in the end who was executed, it was a lookalike. When people are using doubles, it's not hard to find someone with a similar facial structure and adjust the hair. The hard part is the eyes. So that's why you will almost always see them. If they're using a body double, they're going to be wearing sunglasses, right? A current one right now is the question, does Melania Trump have a body double that she sometimes uses for public appearances? Most often, the accusations I've heard here are when you're seeing her like get off a plane with Trump and get into a vehicle, or vice versa. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's true. I would put that one on a rational end of the spectrum. That could very well be true. In fact, when you look at the body language between them, when you know it is Melania, such as no sunglasses, and compare that with some of the ones people are asking, is this a body double? There are differences in the body language in both of those. So that could very well be true. A lot of different categories. Project MK Ultra, the drug experiments and behavioral control experiments from the 50s and 60s. That got declassified in the 70s, or at least chunks of it. People think of that as the LSD experiments. It actually had to do with a lot of other drugs, not just LSD. 9/11 conspiracy theories were fueled by Operation Northwoods back in the 60s during the Kennedy administration. That was one where it was suggested to stage terrorist attacks on the east coast of the U.S., blame it on Cuba as an excuse to invade Cuba. That was knocked down right away, though, because it would be too complex. It would be nearly impossible to keep it secret given the number of people it would take. And the consequences, if it was revealed, would be devastating to the administration and the country. So that one was knocked down right away. That same criticism exists for 9/11 conspiracy theories. When Snowden released NSA data, it revealed the extent of electronic surveillance of the American people. So most of these categories do have something that has been uncovered that was real, that fuels the idea, oh, well, then maybe this other thing is also a cover-up. But again, we have to look at them rationally. What is the motive? How complex is it? What are the actual chances of keeping it secret? What's the consequence if it's found out? And is there an easier way to do the same thing that wouldn't be as complex? Right? Those are always the categories we have to put in there. So is Jim Carrey a clone or a robot or replaced by a lookalike? No. He just looks different because of his age and possibly some other stuff that he had going on. What was the other one decades ago? Oh, Avril Lavigne, that she had passed away earlier in her career and they'd replaced her with a lookalike and sound-alike to keep making money off of her. An earlier one, the Beatles fans are aware of, the idea that Paul McCartney died in a car accident in 1966 was replaced by a lookalike named Billy Shears. And for some reason, the Beatles decided to put clues in their songs and on their albums about it. So these things have gone around for a long time. They keep cycling around. But most of them are not on the rational end of the spectrum. There are easier answers to all of these. Too often people love to jump to the most dramatic conspiracy theory type belief rather than looking at what is the most rational. And we see this in true crime also. People want almost every case to be a police cover-up or someone else being protected and an innocent person being railroaded. Again, we look at what is the simplest answer? What does the evidence actually show us?